is gonna be next Monday, which is this coming Monday, December 13, from 12 to 1:30 in CIA 114. It will cover chapter 4 and chapter 11. Today we will go over the last section, which is 11.5. There are around 12 to 14 questions in this test, and some of those questions has parts. Make sure you write your name, and then you're allowed to use either scientific and or graphing calculators, or both. You can bring both calculators for your to do your test here, your finals. You can also use one front page of notes in this case. The review is right here, and I think I mentioned the review on Monday class that your review here is actually coming from your textbook. So if you go to your ebook or your textbook, if you have a textbook, go to the if it's ebook, go to ebook, go to the chapter test 4 and chapter test 11. You should have answers given to you there, or if you have a book, then you just go to the back of the page and they will provide you all the answers, including the even ones, the odd and even ones. If you do not know what I'm talking about, or do you know what I'm saying, please watch back on Monday's Zoom, because I did go over that together with you guys, how we find out where do you get your solutions for your finals here. So this is, again, we do not have finals on Wednesday, means I will put every one of you guys in Monday, December 13. I think we have only like 16 or 17 students in this case. So anyone have any questions here with your finals? Okay. Again, if you cannot make it on Monday the 13th, you have to email me now. This is serious here, because your final is a 25% of your final grade. So this is a quarter of your grades here. So if you cannot make it on this time, please, or these days, so make sure you email me. Do not email me at 11 o'clock in the morning on Monday, because I won't be around to check the email. So it's too late by that time. So email me early now, okay? Next is your homework. You only got 4 homeworks left. 2 is due tonight, and 2 is due on this Sunday by midnight. The reason why is your test is on Monday, 13th. So you got 4 homework left. Again, these 4 homeworks will be in your finals on top of chapter 4, 4.3, and 4.4. So there are 6 sections in here. So today we will concentrate. If you have any homework questions, please stay back after class. I will help you with your homework questions here, 11.1, 11.2. If you have any homework questions, do stay back. Let's talk about today's class. So today class 11.5 is talk about the binomial theorem. The word binomial means you have 2 terms in a polynomial. So will be like x plus y. Okay. So this binomial theorem is used if you know the shortcut. Okay. So so when you have x plus y to the power of 0, this is just 1. Okay. So if you have x plus y to the power of 1, you will get x plus y. Okay. And I'm going to put down the coefficient in color so you can see it. So this is 1, this is 1, this is 1. And then when you do the x plus y square, you will get x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Again, I'm going to use colored here to look at the coefficient. Okay. And then when we continue doing this, if you do x plus y cubed. Now this, we don't have, now you know the shortcut. Usually if I want you guys to cube it, you always take x plus y times x plus y times x plus y. And then, which is a lot of work. So I show it to you what, because this one is going to be, so you have to expand this. So, so if you expand the x plus y cube, it's going to be x plus y times x plus y, which give us x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And then after that, you have to multiply this with another x plus y because this is cube. So, so you have to FOID this, and the FOIDing here will give you x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed. Yes, if you FOID this one out, you will get this answer. So you will get, so I will show it to you. You will get 1x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus 1y cubed. Okay, so you will get the 1, the 3, the 3, and the 1. Okay, now you will see a pattern coming up here. The next one we have in this case is x plus 4y to the power of 4. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out to you here is if you have power 1, you will get 2 terms. Okay, so you will get 2 terms. So you got 1 and 2. So when you got so you got 2 terms here. So when you have x plus y squared, you will end up with 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. And if you have x plus y cubed, you will end up with 4 terms. And when you do x plus y to the power of 4, you will have 5 terms. And you notice that when you look at your x in this case start out with the most highest power that we have. So we've got x squared or x cubed, and then slowly your x power is going down. So x cubed, x squared, x1, and then no x. And then if you look at your y coefficient, y terms, is go the back ways, means that you start from the low power to the high power. So you got no power of y, and then you got y1, and then you got y2, and you got y3. So this is what happens to a binomial theorem here is you notice that when you when you have your x here, your x in this case will be start from x4 to power x3 to power x squared to power x and then no x. And then your y will be no y, y1, y2, y3, and then y4. Okay, so that means you will have 5 terms. Now, the only thing I want to point out to you is because this is plus, so because the term here is a positive, so every single one here is going to be positive. Okay, what happens if your term is negative? If your term is x minus y, then your sign will be alternating. So this is positive, this is negative. Okay, so if you have a minus, excuse me, then you will have a plus, and then a minus, and then a plus. Okay, if you have an x minus y cubed, it will be plus x cubed minus x 3x squared y minus 3xy squared minus plus. This is plus. So your sign will alternate, means from always positive to negative, and then to positive, and then to negative, and then to positive. So this is what happens if you have a negative sign. You just need to alternate it. Now, the main part in this case is the coefficient, the numbers that I put it down here. This coefficient, if you look carefully, is based on what we call as your combinations. So this kind of combinations is based on NCR, okay, which is given us by the formula of n factorial over by n minus r factorial times r factorial. So this is if you remember what we did here in 11.1, we talk about how many ways can you do this. So that is the meaning of this case here is you're looking for how many ways are we doing this. And so you got 1, 1, 1, and then after that you got 1 and 2 and 1. And then the next one you have in this case is 1, 3, 3, and 1. So for the power 4, it will be 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So you will have 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Now, in order for you to figure out how you do your R, your N here, your N in this case is your power. Okay, and R minus 1 is your term. Okay, let me repeat. R minus 1 is your term in this case. So in this case, yep, that is R. Sorry, I'm reading here. Oh, sorry, it's R plus 1 is your term, sorry. R plus 1 is your term here. So, so example in this case that if you want to figure out what is this 6, so we know N in this case is 4 because we got 4 powers here. Okay, and R plus 1 in this case is 3. Because the reason why this is 3 is because this is your third term. Number 1, number 2, number 3. So R in this case will be 2. Okay, so again, you solve for R. And then you plug into this formula, the NCR formula. You will get 4 factorial, which is N factorial. Okay. Over by 4 minus 2, which is 2 factorial. And then 4 minus 2 is 2 factorial. So again, if you do the factorial, this is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. And then this is 1 times 2 and then 1 times 2. So again, 1 times 2 will be canceled. And then 2 goes into 4 twice. So in this case, you get 6. So this 6 in this case is your answer in this case. Okay. So this is how you figure out. And yes, you can continue working this on. And again, if you expand this binomial, it's getting bigger and bigger. So, so this is what we call as a binomial theorem. So this is very important. So this is a formula. So make sure you guys know this formula. So the formula for the binomial. Okay, so this is, so we don't have time to do 5. So for a binomial theorem, this is important. When you do x plus y to the power of n, now this one is x to the power y to the power of n. Make sure you guys know that this is going to be xn minus 1, xn minus 2, so on. And then your y in this case will be y0. This will be y1. This will be y2. And then if you go up to x2 here, then x1. So you just subtract with the y. So remember here, you got n minus 2, you got 2. So this case, your y in this case will be n minus 2. So here will become y will become n minus 1. And then the last one is yn. So what happened in this case, what I'm showing you here, class, is your x in this case, your first term, your power is slowly getting smaller. Your y term is slowly getting bigger. And your coefficient in this case is based on NCR. So this will become always 1. Let me use screen for that. This is always 1. This is going to be based on n. So if your power is 6, this is always 6. Okay. And then the next one we're going to use here is going to be your NCR. Okay. So this is going to be NCR. And the last 2 terms, the last before the last one, this is going to be n. That means if you start with 6, you will get 1, 6, and then end up with 6, 1. Okay. So this is what happens in your binomial theorem. if this is power 10, you get 1 and then 10 and then the last two terms will have a coefficient 10 and a coefficient 1 in this case. Okay, so this the real binomial theorem in this case is given us by this formula. The formula, if I want you to find the nth term, okay, your formula in this case will be NCR, okay, the probability that we have, x to the power of n minus r times y to the r. Okay, so this is the formula here, where n in this case is no, not n term, r term. So if I want you guys to find your r term in this case, so what is your r term in this case? Okay. N in this case will be your power. Okay. And then r plus 1 is your term. Okay, so let's do r plus 1 term. So your term in this case, in order for you to get r, you have to subtract 1. Okay. So this formula is used when you want to find your r term in this case. So in this case, make sure you know that your r in this case, you have to plus 1. You will see an example on this coming out in your homework here. Okay, so that is one way for us to figure out your NCR here, is we use the formula, the n factorial over by n minus r factorial times r factorial. This is the way that we use for NCR. Another way for us to do your coefficient, okay, is using what we call as a Pascal triangle. Okay, so if I look back at the first one, and we can do, so you can do one way using the NCR. You can also do it using the Pascal triangle. So Pascal triangle is like a Christmas tree. Okay, so you notice that all the sides here are 1. So you start with 1, and then you have 1 and 1, and then you have 1 and 1 and a 2, because you got a 2 in the middle. And how you get 2 here is you add those 2 up. So 1 plus 1 is 2. You add them up. Okay. And don't forget, it has to have 3 terms. The next one, you have 4 terms. You got 1 and 1. So you got 2 terms. So you know that x to the power of 3 has 4 terms. So now you have to add these 2 up. You get 3. Add these 2 up. You get 3. So this is using a Pascal triangles. We call that. And then when for fourth, you will get 1 and 1. And we have 5 terms in this case. So we add 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so that's why you get the 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And then if I want to go on to the next one, power 5. Power 5 in this case, you should have 6 terms. Okay, so the coefficient in this case will be 1 and 1. And then you add 1 plus 4 is 5. 4 plus 6 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. So you should have 6 numbers, 6 coefficient, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason why is when you have a power 5, it will be will be having 6 terms here. So if I want you guys to do what is x plus y to the power of 5, then we use this. You will get x to the 5, x to the 4, x to the 3, x to the 2, x to the 1. And then for your y terms, use y0 increase, y1, y2, y3, y4, and then y5. You got to the 5th term. And then you slot in the coefficient, which will be 1. The next one in this case is 5. It came from 1 plus 4. The next one in this case is 10. It came from 4 and plus 6. The next one we got is also 10, which is 6 plus 4. And then the next one in this case is 5, because 4 plus 1 is 5. And then the last one we have is 1. So this is what happens when you guys do what we call as a binomial theorem. So you can actually, you do not need to FOIL this. Remember what happens when you do x plus y to the power 5? You have to like FOIL this like 3-4 times. Okay, you find what is x plus y square first, and then multiply with x plus y, multiply by x. It's a lot of work, okay? But this is the shortcut we're doing it. And don't forget, class, this only works when you only have a binomial sequence. So if you have x plus y plus z, it won't work in this case. If you're gonna do x plus y plus z cubed, this is not a binomial in this case. Okay, so we cannot use that for this section. So this section is mainly used for just 2 terms. Okay, so there are 2 ways for us to do this kind of work. One way is using the Pascal triangles. Okay, the other way is using the formula, which is over here, the binomial theorem formula, which is this formula that I circle in or draw the box in red here. This is a formula. Okay, so there are 2 ways for us to do this kind of questions. Okay, but when you use a binomial formula here, if you are doing it, let's say this is a 5, so you're gonna do this 6 times. That means you're gonna do it for the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, 5 terms, and 0 term. So don't forget, you have a 0 term. 0 term is this is considered 0 term. This is considered first term, second term, and third term, fourth term, and so on. Okay, so for me, the easiest way for us, if I want you to write in terms, is definitely using Pascal triangle. This is the easiest one. So can someone, so this is power 1. This is power 2. This is power 3. This is power 4. Sorry, too fast. Let me draw a line so you can see it. So this is power 1. This is power 2. No, power 0. Sorry, this is power 0, power 1. This is power 2. This is power 3, because if you see 3 in there, this is power 3. This is power 4. This is power 5. Can someone do a power 6 for me? Using power 5. Power 6. Anyone? Power 6? One, followed by what?
Followed by 6. Followed by 15. Then by 20, and then 15, 6, 1.
Yep. Oh, sorry. I am a 15, 6, and 1. Yep. Questions? Anyone? So for me, Pascal triangle will be easy for us to do. Otherwise, you're going to do the NCR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. But usually we know that if you have power 6, the first 2 is going to be 1 and 6, and the last 2 is 1, 6, and 1. So this is the one that usually we need to use the NCR to calculate, because again, with power 5, we know the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms is 1, 5, and 5, 1. So we will use the 10 in this case. So this is the one that usually, the one I circle here is usually the NCR will comes into handy if you want to use the NCR way. But if you use a Pascal way, usually you just keep on adding, based on the previous one. And again, Pascal triangle, you have to build based on the first. So if I want you to do the power 10, that means you need to know how to do power 9. And in order for the power 9, you need to do power 8 and 7. So that means you cannot just tell me power 10, what is the numbers here. You can tell the first 2 is 110 and the last 2 is 10, 1. But the rest of them, you will have to figure out using power 9. Okay, so that is the only downfall about Pascal triangles. Okay, so you need to know your previous power before you start off. All right, so so that's the Pascal triangles and the binomial here. So let's find some binomial coefficients. So what is tan 6 means? Tan 6 means that it's a combination here. That means your n is 10 and your R is 6. So how do we do this using your factorial here? It will be 10 factorial minus by the difference between 10 6, which is 4 factorial, times with 6 factorial. So this is what we call as your NCR. So 10 factorial is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 all the way till 10. Okay, so that is the meaning of factorial. 4 is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. And then 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we need to reduce this. So the 1 to 4 can be canceled out. The 1 is redundant because anything over is 1. 2 times 3 is 6, so we can cancel 6 out. 5 can be canceled with 5. What else can we cancel? So you try to cancel as much as you can, and then you just use your calculator to figure this one out. 8 goes into 4 twice, right? Okay. 9 is 9. 6 is 2 times 3, so 2 is here, and 3 you can borrow from here. So your answer in this case is 7 times 3 times 10, which in this case will be 210. Okay. So this is how you figure out your this. So if you want to draw your Pascal triangle, this means that this is for your 7th term, because you need to add 1. And this is your power, in this case is power 10. So on power 10, the 7th term, so if you use your Pascal, your coefficient in this case is 210. So if you do that, you know, like that one that we just did in Pascal. So when you reach to the first 2 and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th is going to be 210. Yeah, the number that you're going to do in Pascal, what we see just now is a small number because we start small, but once you get a very higher powers, you will get a very, very big numbers. So like this, it will increase significantly, really quick. Okay, so this is what we use for. Just want to point out to you guys that when you do this, you're looking for the coefficient of the 7th term, not the 6th, but the 7th term. Okay. Go ahead and try to do this. 12C5. Go ahead and try it. Again, 12C5 is 12 in this case is your N. And 5 in this case is your R. And what terms are we looking for here? Anyone? This is looking for the 6th term because your R is 5. So 5 plus 1 is, you're looking for your 6th term in this case. And your power is 12. So what is the coefficient of this 6th term if its power is 12? Anyone know how to do this question?
On the top, shouldn't it be 12 factorial?
Give me a second. Yep. Give me a second. Sorry about that. 12 factorial at the bottom.
7 factorial, 5 factorial.
Yep. Now, I'm just going to be lazy because you find out that these two will cancel, right? So you find out that this 7 factorial will cancel with 12 factorial. What you left in this case is the 1 till 7 will be canceled. So what we left here when you cancel the 7 and the 12? You will left with 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. because the 7, 1 till 7 is 1 times till 7 will be canceled with your 1 to 7 here. So you just left it. And now we got 5. 5 in this case is 1 to 5. Now again, 1 is useless because so you'll be 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you need to reduce this. Anyone know how to reduce this?
3 and 4 go into 12.
Okay.
So they cancel.
And then
2 and 5 go into 10.
Yep. So in this case, take out your calculator. What is 8 times 9 times 11? 700 something. $792. So that when you guys figure out what is the 6th term of this power 12, that coefficient is 792. So as I mentioned, the coefficient gets really big. That means if you do your Pascal triangles, if you go for the power 12, we got 1 and 12, because that's the first term. First 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th term in this case will be 792. That's the meaning of this. Okay. So so again, it will be really, really big when you go through this big power. So the Pascal triangle is used if your power here is small. Okay, like what we did so far, like power 3, power 4, power 5, power 6. We'll use the Pascal triangle. But once you reach to the power 10 or power 12 or the very high power, we will not use the Pascal triangle here because the number you get here is going to be extremely. You can use it, but then it's going to be extremely, extremely huge in this case. Okay. So so now this is how we figure out your binomial coefficient, or in other words, your coefficient in this case. Now for question 3 till question 6, the question wants us to expand, and you notice that the numbers here are really, really small power 3, 5, 4, 6. So if you have such case, then we will probably use the Pascal triangle here. Again, we only use the coefficients formula if your power is huge, like 10 or 12. So in this case, we will do 7a plus b cubed. So in this case, how do we expand this? Is again, watch carefully here. The first term you're gonna cube it. So this terms you're gonna the whole 7a you have to cube it, not just a. Okay, so last time we have x, right? You do x cubed. This one is a whole 7a gonna cube, and then 7a is gonna be square, and then 7a is gonna be power 1. So this is for the 7a. For b, you take the b, and the first one is nothing, and then you got b1, and then you got b square, and then you got b cubed. Now the good news is because it's positive, so every b here is going to be positive. Okay. And then here comes the coefficient. So if you remember your Pascal triangle for power 3, anyone remember what is the Pascal triangle for number 3, power 3? You always have 1, 3, 3, and 1. Okay. So now what you need to do, class, is take out your calculator. This will be a cube. Power 7 to the power of 3. What is that? 7 to the power of 3. 343. Yes, you will get a big number here. Okay. Plus, now this one you have to do what is you got a square and b because you got a square and b, but you have to square your 7. So this one you have to take 49 times 3. So 7 squared is 49. So 49 times 3 in this case will give us 147. This one you will get ab squared but you don't have square here, so that means you just multiply 3 and 7, so you get 21 AB squared. And the last one we have is just a B cube, because there is no variables, no numbers in that case. So this is your answer for question 3. Okay. Tough, or is that doable? Again, look at your patterns. Your A has to be go from big to small, and your B will be opposite, small to big, the powers. And just want to tell you guys here is a lot of students give me in your finals, they give me this is a 7. That is wrong because you need to cube it. Okay, a lot of students make mistake here by not cubing it. And this one, they thought this is 21 because 3 times 7 is 21, but no. Or someone say 21 square. Class, don't forget, powers, orders of operations, power exponents come first, then multiply. So you have to do the 7 square first before you multiply by 3. And then this one is 21 and this one is B cubed. So this is how we do this kind of questions. So we're gonna do the next one. This is gonna have one. 2x minus 5y to the power of 5. Okay, this is the next question. So usually in your finals, I either will give you either power 3, power 4, or power 5. I don't think so. I'll give you a power 6 because power 6 is going to be a bit more. But if I want 6 is the highest, I won't give you more than a power 6 here because it's otherwise your answer is going to be super long. Okay. And don't forget, class, if you have power 3, you should have 4 terms. Okay. So make sure you count your 4 terms. If you have no 4 terms, this is 4 terms, you get it wrong. Power 5, you should have 6 terms. Okay. So how do we do this? So what you do is, again, our first term in this case is 2x. So anyone wants to tell me what you're going to do with this 2x?
It'll be cubed.
Not cubed.
Up to the power of 5, not cubed.
Yep, because this is 5th power. And then followed by what? Power of?
Power 4 with 5y to the first, right?
Yep, we'll do that. The first one first. Cube. Square. And then 1. Okay. So this is the 2x. Now the next one we have is this negative 5y. So the first one, you don't have power. Then this one, you become a negative 5y. Followed by what? A negative 5y squared. Negative 5y cubed. Negative 5y to the 4th. And then don't forget, you still have one more, negative 5y to the 5th. Okay, because you got 5th power, you will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the one. And then for the first one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now we do the coefficient. Does anyone remember what is the Pascal triangle for power 5? 1, 5. Anyone? Now this one we know is 5 and 1 because the first 2 terms is 1 and whatever power, and the last 2 terms is that power and 1. So now anyone know what is this one gonna be? The 1, 5, 5, 1. Okay, your Pascal triangles. Okay, your Pascal triangle for power 5. Sorry. What is the Pascal triangle? Do you guys draw the Pascal triangle out?
It would be
Got 10
10
for the
and
2
10.
metals.
So what's a Pascal triangle? Oops. For power 5. This is power 5. What you have? 1, 5. Followed by what?
10.
10. And then
10,
10. And then
5,
5. Then 1, right?
and 1. Yeah.
So you 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So make sure you guys know how to draw your Pascal triangle, which is this one that we. Okay. And so now what you need to do here is take out your calculator and start to multiplying your coefficient out. So the first coefficient when you multiply here is 2 to the power of 5. Anyone know what 2 to the power of 5 is?
$32.
So this is 32x5. Now what we do next is 5 times 2 to the 4 times -5. So take out your calculator and multiply what is 5 times 2 to the 4th times -5.
-400.
Yep, -400. And don't forget, you still have x4 here. Now we do this one. So 10 times 2 cubed times -5 cubed. Oh, I forget the y, sorry. This is x4 and the y, so forget the y. Now we do this one. So it's 10 times 2 cubed times -2 cubed is 8, right? And our -5 squared is 25. So a positive 25. So 10 times 8 times 25 give you what? $2,000. And this is x cubed, y squared. Now do the same thing for the next term. 10 times 4, right? 2 squared is 4, times -5 to the power of 3. What do you get here? And is that a shortcut? This is the shortcut that you'll learn. So you do a fastest way, I will say this is the fastest way. Otherwise, you try to foil this for a while. It will take you at least a 1.5 page long to foil that for a while. This is the fastest way to do it. This is a shortcut. And there's no shortcut of a shortcut. Anyone got this?
-5,000.
And your x in this case is what power? Square. And your y is cubed. Repeat, do this one next. Five times 2 is 10. So you just multiply 10 with -5 to the power of 4. What you get? Positive 6,250 x y4. And the last one we're gonna do here is this one. This is the last term. So what is negative 5 to the 5? Negative 5 to the power of 5. (3,125) y5. So again, class, when you have a minus sign, your terms will be alternating from plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. That is one thing you need to know. So if it's plus, everything is plus. If you have a minus in the middle, your sign will be alternating plus, minus. If you don't get plus, minus, please switch it to plus, minus, plus, minus. And then you also have 6 terms because power 5, you have 6 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. And if you look at your x power will be 5 and reduced. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the y power will be increased. So no y, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. So this is your answer in this case. Again, class, this is a shortcut to do it because the long way is to FOIL, which take you 1.5 pages to do it. Now, I want you guys to do question 5 on your own here. Question 5 is, I'm not going to do that for you. This is hard. So I'm going to change question 5 because in your test, I won't give you this tough. Question number 5 is going to be 2x. So let's do this one. So 2x, I want you guys to do it. 2x minus 3y to the power of 4. Okay, not 2 over x, just 2x. I'm not going to make you too difficult questions here. So go ahead and try this on your own here. 2x minus 3y to the power of 4. Your task will be something like this: is a power 3, power 4, power 5. I probably don't want you to do power 6 because then you go crazy. This is not difficult. Again, you might need to know your Pascal triangle. Okay. Forget your Pascal triangle. Again, I will strongly using Pascal triangle, which is the easy method to do it. I don't want you guys to use the MCR methods, which is you can just Pascal will be the fastest. And yes, you need a calculator to do this work. You get big numbers and then can someone tell me how many terms we have in this question 5?
We have 5 terms.
We got 5 terms, yes. So we take 2x. What do you do first with the 2x? So the first one is 2x to the power of 4, 3, 2, 1. And your last term is negative 3y. So you got no, and then negative 3y to the power of 1. And then negative 3y to the power of 2. Negative 3y to the power of 3. And we have a negative 3y to the power of 4. Okay. And what is the Pascal triangle says for power 4? 1, 4. Anyone?
6, 4, and 1.
6, 4, 1. Yeah. Now you just need to multiply. So multiply this, and we get 2 to the 4th. This is 16x4. Now you're going to do this. You want to go and answer for this one?
Is it minus 48 x cubed times x cubed y?
8. This is 8, right? So 8 times 4 times negative 3. What you get?
8 times 4 times negative 3. Negative 48. Really?
So 4 times 2 cubed times negative.
It's how's it negative 96? Why?
Negative 96, yeah.
Negative 96, yeah.
X cubed y. Then do this one. Make sure you have a calculator with you. 6 times 2 squared times negative 2 squared. So 6 times 4 times 9, right? Because 2 squared is 4, negative 3 squared is 9. So you get what? 216 x squared y squared. Then you do the next one here. 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 times negative 3 cubed. You get negative 216 xy cubed. And the last one is this one. So that will be a positive 3, negative 3 to the power of 4, give you what? 81. So this is 81y4. So this is your answer for question number 5. Can you guys do this in my test? Anyone have any questions for me? So class practice, it's not difficult, it's just tedious, but actually this is actually the shortcut for it. So otherwise, if you foil this, it's going to be more even tedious. Okay. Now, the next one we're going to talk about, so go home and try to do number 6 on your own. Again, in your test, I will give you the power 3, power 4, power 5. I don't think so. I give you power 6. If I give you power 6, that's the highest I can go. Okay. Now for question number 7 and question number 8, this question want us to figure out what is the nth term of the binomial expression. Now, what does that mean when a question asks you for what is the nth term of the binomial expression? In this case, is they're asking you for like this. If I give you this, example, number 4, what is the third term of the binomial in this case? The third term in this case is 1, 2, 3. So this is your third term. Okay, let me repeat. If a question is asking, some question wants you to expand. This is the meaning of expand, means you have to give me all the terms, all the 6 terms or 5 terms you have. But sometimes they just only concentrate on selected terms, like the third terms, the 5th terms, or so if I ask you for third terms, this is your answer. Now you can actually expand this and then, you know, figure out, oh, this is my third term, so this is my answer, or this is my 4th term, this is my answer. But you can do it, but don't forget, this is for small powers, right? But what happens if your power is like 12? I do not want you guys to expand this for power 12 here, because then it will be really, really much. So in very not much, it's very, very difficult. So in order for us to figure out the nth term, we will using this formula. Okay, so this is a formula we're gonna use for the using the nth term in this case. Usually I hate to use the word nth term. I will use the R. In this case, the n is very because we use n for power here. So I don't want you guys to use 2. So we're gonna use the formula of NCR. Okay, multiply this with your xn minus r and y to the r. So this is how you find your r plus 1 term. This is better. So this is using to find r plus 1 term. Okay. So this question number 7 is given us by x plus 6y to the 5th, and you're looking for the third term. Yeah, I'm just right. I don't want to use an n here because the n and the n here is 2 different n. So that's why I try to stay away from the n terms here. So in this case, the question is asking for the third term. So you have to figure out what is your r in this case. So your n in this case will be 5 because this is your n. Okay. Your x in this case will be x because this is your x. But your y in this case is not y. It's going to be 6y. This is your y. Okay. And in order for you to figure out what is your r, you have to set r plus 1 equals to 3. Okay. Where is this 3 come from? It comes from your third term. So when you subtract, so r in this case is 2. Okay. So so this is very important. A lot of students think r is 3. That is the mistake that students do. So make sure you guys have to subtract 1 from the term. So if asking for third term, r is 2. If it's asking for 8th term, r is 7. Okay. So now we're gonna plug this all into this formula. Okay. So NCR in this case will be 5, choose 2, because n is 5 and r is 2. X to the power of n minus r. So you just subtract 5 and 2, you get 3. And then your y in this case is 6y to the power of r to the power of 2. So this is where we will use combinations here. So 5 choose 2, if you do your the combinations that I teach you, this is actually is 5 factorial over by 3 factorial times 2 factorial. Okay. So 5 choose 2 is 5. So you need to do this one first. So in this case, the 3 and the 5 will cancel. So you will get 4 times 5. Because 1 times 2 times 3 will be canceled with 3 factorial. 2 factorial is 1 times 2. So 1 times 2 here, the 2 will be canceled with this 2. So in this case, the 5 choose 2 in this case will be 10. And then you got x cubed. And then don't forget, you need to multiply, you have to square this fellow. So squaring this fellow will give us 36y squared. So now you multiply this, your answer is 360, 36 times 10, x cubed, y squared. So this is how we do this type of work. So you do not need to expand this using your Pascal triangles and then figure out what is your third term is. You can, it's a bit more work here. So the fastest way in this case is to just use this formula to do it. Okay. So this is how we do this. So it's pretty much simple here, as long as you know the formula. Okay, and watch out for your R. It's R plus 1 term. So we're gonna do the last question here, which is number 8. The question is given us by 10x minus 3y to the power of 12. And you are looking for the 10th term. Okay, so they are looking for the 10th term in this case. So I want you guys to figure out what is your n in this case, what is your x in this case, what is your y in this case, and what is your r in this case. And then after that, plug it into your formula. This is the last question, and this is in your finals. It's in your homework, so practice. I don't think I'll assign a lot of questions in this section. But as you know that the work is tedious, the answer you enter is a lot. Because you, especially the expanded one, you have to enter all 6 terms. There's a lot of work too. Anyone know what's n in these questions?
It's 12.
12. What is x in this case?
It's 10x cubed.
Just 10x.
Just 10x, okay.
Okay. And what is your y in this case?
Negative 3y.
And your r?
Is 9.
9. So it's 1 less than your term. Okay, so make sure you subtract. Right, now plug it back into your formulas here. N will be 12, so 12C9. Okay, the R is 9. X will be 10x to the power of n minus r, so 12 minus 9 is 3. And then y in this case is negative 3y to the power of r. R in this case is 9. So first thing is figure out what is 12C9 is. 12C9 is 12 factorial over by 3 factorial, 9 factorial. Okay. So remember last time I do the 3 and the 5 factorial, but this time I'm not going to do 3 and 12. I will do 9 and 12 because yes, we do the last one because 9 is big. So when you do 9 factorial to 12 factorial, you only left with 10, 11, and 12. Because 1 till 9 will be canceled with the 9 factorial. 3 factorial in this case is 1 times 2 times 3. So which is 6. And 6 goes into 12 2 times. So can someone tell me what is 10C9 in this case? 220, which is 10 times 11 times 2. And then you multiply this. Does anyone know what is 10x cubed? So 10 times power of 3 is 1000. Because it's 10 times 10 times 10, x cubed. Ooh, this is going to be a really big number here. Then we have a negative 3 to the power of 9. Oosh, this one is not fun, I can tell you that. Super big. Negative 19683 y9. So now what you need to do is you have to take this number, and this number, multiply it. So take negative 19683 times 1000 times 220. This is a super big number. Negative 433,026 1234. So it's negative 43. No, 43 is it's negative around negative 4.3 billion in this case. X cubed, don't forget your variables, and y9. Again, class, I won't come up this kind of questions in your finals because it is too much. Yeah, usually your finals, I won't give you huge number like this. So that is really, really, really crazy. Okay. But in the tests, in the finals, usually I come out a smaller number, like 360 or 1,000, but this is billions, which is crazy. Anyone have any questions in this case? So it's not difficult like the sine and cosine that you guys did, but there is formulas for this section. So for this 11.5, the formulas is this formula that we just used and your Pascal triangle. Okay, so this formula is very important in 11.5 and your Pascal triangle that you guys did. So as you guys know that you're allowed to use one page of formulas. So what are the important formulas? We're kind of spend a little bit of time reviewing here because this is the last piece here. What is the important formulas you guys need to know or to have, especially when you guys want to write this in your test here? The first formula comes from chapter 4 here. The formula is this in 4.4. So if you look at 4.4. This that I highlight in purple, this is a formula we use for conics. Okay, so make sure you guys have these formulas in there with the asymptotes formula and the c squared equals to 8. So everything from here to here is your formula for chapter 4.4 and 4.3. Okay, if you know how to do 4.4, you should know how to do 4.3. So this is a formula here. The formula that you guys need to have for chapter 11, sequence and series, usually you do not need to worry about the formulas. The only formula you need to watch out is arithmetic and geometric sequence and series. So don't forget, an in arithmetic is a1 plus n minus 1d, sn is n over 2 a1 plus an. And then for geometric sequences, the an term is a1 r to the power of n minus 1. For the finite geometric sequence is a1 1 over rn over 1 minus r, and the class don't forget to put parentheses on it. And then for geometric series for infinite is a1 over by 1 minus r, again parentheses on 1 minus r. Make sure your r, absolute value of r in this case, is less than 1. Otherwise, if it's more than 1, this sum is going to be does not exist. Okay, so these are the formulas that you have, and then today's class you learn about your the binomial theorem. This is the binomial theorem formulas: NCR xn minus r y to the r, and make sure you know that your your term in this case is r plus 1 term, and the Pascal triangles. And again, your Pascal triangles, I would recommend you to work all the way till till 6. So you do not need to work beyond 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the one that we just did here. So don't go beyond that, because in your test, I do not want you guys to go beyond that. Okay. So these are the formulas that I would recommend you guys to write down. So we will do some review in this case because we have some time. So this is review for your finals. So our review in this case will be where was the review test, review file. Yep. So for your review finals here, we will concentrate about doing your what we call as sketch the conic and identifying the center, the vertices, the foci if available. So this is in your test, in your finals, this worth like 10 to 12 points a piece. So I'm gonna concentrate on maybe this is too easy because there's no number. Oh, let's do 17. 17 is good. So we're gonna do your review here. So many things pop up here. This. All right, so we're gonna do question. This is review for your finals here. Before I continue with review of finals, can you do your attendance, please? This is the last attendance I will take. This is chapter 4. Make sure you guys do chapter 11 on your own because I don't have time to go through all these reviews with you guys. So x squared plus 3y squared minus 2x plus 36y plus 100 is equals to 0. So this question is asking us for what kind of conic section is this? Is that a circle, a parabola, an ellipse, or a hyperbola? And don't forget, in your test, you have to tell me, are they on the horizontal or on the vertical axis? And then if you look at your, here, if it's an ellipse, you have to give me your center, your foci, and your vertices. If it's a hyperbola, you have to tell me the center, the foci, the vertices, and your asymptotes. And if it's a parabola, you have to tell me your vertex, your foci, focus point, and your directrix. If it's circle, you just need to tell me 2 things: your center and your radius. Okay. So yes, circle will be the easiest among all the 4 stuff. So anyone know what to do first here before we even refer to this formula here? Anyone know what to do first? This is your task on Monday. Anyone remember?
Get your x's and y's together.
Separate them. Yep. So you have to separate. So you got x squared minus 2x plus 3y squared plus 36y. And then you need to move your 100 over there. So this is your first step to do. Yes, this costs 10 to 12 points in your test. So what is this? Your first step. What is your second step? Second step, if your leading coefficient has a number, your y squared or x squared has a number, you have to factor it out. The good news is x squared is 1, so you do not need to do any factoring. Y, you need to do factor. Okay. And what is the third step? You take the middle term.
Yeah, you divide it by 2 and square it, add it to both sides.
Yep. So what is the middle term in this case?
It would be -2 divided by 2, so make it -1, squared is just 1.
So you add 1 here. And then what do you add here?
You also add 1.
Yep, because we don't factor anything out. So 1. And then the last step here is to factor. So this will be factor. What's a factor for him?
It would be x squared minus 1,
X minus 1 squared.
or x minus 1, just a
One.
squared.
So make sure you know the square is outside, not inside it. We do the same thing on the y, but this time you need to factor out the 3. So what happens when you factor out the 3 here? You get what? Y squared plus 12y, right? Three times 12 is 36. Now we need to take the middle term, which is 12. You have to divide it by 2 and square it. So what's 12 divided by 2? And square. That will be 36, right? 12 over 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. But what do we need to add here? And if you say 36, it's wrong. Anyone? Should be what? 108. Kyle, how do I get 108?
Oh, you take the 36 and you got to distribute the 3 to it.
Yep, very good. Okay, so 3 times 36 is 108. So what is the factor for this y squared plus 12y plus 36? This will be y plus. Anyone remember how we factor this one?
Would it be 6?
How you
Because
get
it's
6? Yep, how do you get 6,
It's-
Damon?
it's the middle term divided by 2.
Yes, it's always the middle term divided by 2 or the square root of the last 36 root is 6. So yes, make sure you guys know this is very important. And then finally, you just need to add all these numbers up. So what you guys get when you add all these numbers up?
9.
9. Okay. So now, in order for you to figure out, this 9 always has to be 1. So we will divide everything here by 9. So what is your equation looks like? X minus 1 squared over 9 plus what? Y plus 6 squared over what?
Over 3, because the 3
Yep.
divides out.
Yep, that is correct. And this is equal to 1. Now we use the formula. So by looking at the formula, is this a circle, ellipse, hyperbola, parabola? Anyone?
It's an ellipse.
Because
Because they're added together.
the add and the x and y is square. So this is the ellipse. So can you tell me, is this a horizontal or vertical ellipse?
It's a horizontal ellipse because a squared is under x minus 1.
There you go. Yep. So in order for us to do this, you have to figure out if your horizontal, your a has to be greater than b here. So since your a is 9, a squared is 9, so it's under x. So this is a horizontal ellipse. Okay. So make sure you guys write this. This with 2 points in your test. If you don't write it, you lose 2 points automatically. All right, now in ellipse, we need to figure out what is the center. The center is always given us by HK. So what is center in this case? Again, this is your H, this is your K. And if you look at your formula again, I show it to you. What is this is your H and K, that's your center. So can someone tell me what's the center in this case?
1 -6.
Will be 1 -6. Yep. Now, do not forget that this 9 is actually a squared, and this 3 is b squared, not a and b. This is one of Catalyst Mystic students I see when I grade your finals or your papers. So what is your a in this case? Is 3.
It would be 3. Yeah.
Yep. And your b in this case is what?
The square root of 3.
The square of 3. Do we know c? We do not know c, so we need to figure out c. So anyone know how to find c in this case?
C squared is equal to a squared minus b squared.
Yep, very good. This is a formula for ellipse. For hyperbola, you make sure this is plus. This is for hyperbola. For ellipse is that. So a squared is 9. B squared is 3. So what is 9 minus 3? 6. So c in this case will be what? Square root
Square root
of
of 6.
6. And if you want, you can always give plus minuses. Just, because they are both, when you take a square root, you need plus minuses. So this is important when to figure out your ABC here, and it's come from your equation. Okay? And it does have domino effects. Means if you did something wrong here, everything here is wrong. But in the test, you will still get points. If you get mistake here, I only take 1 point off. But if you make more mistake coming up here, I will take more points. And another hint I will tell you guys is when you guys perform your computing the squares, this number that you get here has to be perfect square numbers. You guys know what's the meaning of perfect square numbers? 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. So if you don't get, or fractions that use perfect square, if you don't get this perfect square numbers, something is wrong in your completing the square here. So you have to recheck it. Now,
Well, I have a question. How did you get for the circle? How did you get the 6 to be negative? Wasn't it supposed to be just positive 6
which one?
for the center, for the H and K?
We changed the sign.
Okay.
Your formula is given us by negative H and negative K.
I got you.
That's the formula. You have to change the sign. So our important thing is A is always talking about your vertex, vertices. Okay, so you always use A for vertices, and you always use C for foci. So make sure you guys know this. So how do you figure out what is the coordinates of your vertices? Since you say it's a horizontal, horizontal means you move where? Left, right, or you move up, down? Where's horizontal stands?
Left, right.
Left, right, right? And left, right, which coordinates will change when you move left, right? X or Y?
X.
X. So in this case, your H in this case will be plus minus AK. Okay. If you have a vertical, then your A plus minus A will be in the other side. Okay. So make sure you guys know that if you have a horizontal, you vertices use A, so you plus minus A on the H. But if it's a vertical, your plus minus A goes to K. Okay. H in this case is 1. A in this case is 3. And K is negative 6. So your vertices in this case will be 4, negative 6. And negative 2, negative 6. Same thing with foci. Foci, we don't use A, we will use C. So plus minus C and K. That's why you need to find your ABC here to figure out your vertices and your foci. H is still 1. The C in this case is a root 6. K is still negative 6. Now this one, you cannot add them, become 7 and 5. because that is inside the square root. So this is the coordinates of your foci. So don't forget, when you do ellipses, I don't want you to give me your center, your vertices, and your foci. If it's a hyperbola, then you have to give me your asymptote. Okay, so we don't have asymptote. This is not ellipses. So now the last thing we need to do is graph.
Points on the test.
I'm sorry.
You said this is worth 12 points on the test?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at all the words I did.
Yeah.
So how do you draw the graph? So in order for you to draw the graph, you start out with the center. So the center in this case, x is 1, y is -6. So this is your center. Okay. A is the one that you go horizontal. So A, you go 3. So what you do with the A here is you go +3 and -3. So on your center, you go +3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So you go left and right 3. Okay. So this center that you go left 3 here is one of your vertices, which is the -2, -6. And this will be at 4, -6. So these are your vertices in this case. Okay, where you go 3 and 3. Okay, so that is how you do it. And then now we're going to do your B. So B is used when you draw your graph. So since it's a horizontal, B is your vertical, so the other way. So you have to go up and down √3. Does anyone know what square root of 3 is in your calculator? 1 point something, right? So you have to go up 1 point something, and you have to go down 1 point something. So this is your square root of 3. So you will get these 4 points, and this is how your ellipses draw. Okay, so don't forget, from here to here is B, and from here to here is A. Same thing happens to the other side. That's why you need to know all these B and A's, especially to draw. Okay. Now, if you get yourself a hyperbola here, you still do the same thing, except for your C is a bit different formulas. But when you draw hyperbola in this case, you will get this, and you get the point here, here, and here, and here, right? The 3 points, or the 4 points you have. But you don't draw an ellipse, because a hyperbola is you will draw a box. So if you have a hyperbola case in this case, you will draw a box, because this box will give you your asymptote. So your asymptote will be from one end of the box to the another end, and then one end of the box to the other end. And then don't forget, this is your vertex, so it will go sideways like this, because this is your vertex here, your vertices. So depends on the questions. That's why you need to watch out. So if I change this to become a minus, which will be hyperbola here, because that's the only difference here is 1 + 1 is minus. Then you will still use these 4 points that you draw on your ellipse, but this time you don't draw ellipse. You draw me a box to draw your asymptotes, and then your graph will be this blue graph. Okay, so be careful with all this stuff. That watch out for it. So yes, this worth, as you mentioned, 10 to 12 points in your test. So be careful with your work here. And if you get one mistake, I can tell you that everything is wrong. But when I grade your test, I will grade based on your work. So I will still give you points here. I said, if you keep on making more and more and more mistakes, then I will take more points off. So this is how we do this kind of questions, 17. So I would recommend you to practice this kind of questions in your, I think you guys, if you guys did your homework, you should be able to do this. Yep, so you will get these questions. Also, make sure you guys know how to find the standard form of an ellipse, or a standard form of equations of a hyperbola or a parabola. I can tell you that ignore circle, because circle will not be in your test, because circle is the easiest among all 4. So concentrate more on your parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola. So those are the one that I will concentrate more. I'm not going to concentrate more on circles in this case. Okay, so make sure you concentrate on those things. And then the next page, so this is all for chapter 4. And then the next review here is all from chapter 11. So I would recommend you guys to use what you have here. Like what we did in this case, this is called, we don't just expand this using the Pascal or expand this using the Pascal like what we did in today's class. What happens to these 3 is you just, after what you finish expanding it, you just distribute the 3 inside. That's what it is. So try your best to practice this. And yes, the key is in your textbook. This is all come from your textbook. So go to the ebook and get the answers in there. Okay. Anyone have any questions here? All right. So so that's it for today. Don't forget your final is Monday at this time in CLA, CLA 114. Okay, 12 o'clock to 1:30 on Monday. If you cannot attend to these finals, please email me as soon as possible. And when you email me, don't just say, David, I cannot come to this test. You will have to tell me when you're gonna take it, what time and what day. Don't just tell me, oh, I cannot take your test. I'll be like, okay, then what's the purpose? Tell me when you want to take it. And again, you can only take it tomorrow on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. That's it. Okay. So make sure you guys, if you cannot come to take the test on Monday, email me. And there are specific times that I will want you guys to take. Okay. So that's it for today's class.